A violent altercation on board a Frontier Airlines flight from Philadelphia to Miami has led to the arrest of a 21-year-old Indian man from New Jersey. The incident took place on June 29th when a fight broke out between a passenger, Ishan Sharma of Newark, and fellow passenger Keanu Evans. The mobile phone footage shows the two engaged in a scuffle, grabbing each other by the neck as fellow passengers and crew members desperately tried to intervene. Now, according to Evans, who was seated just ahead of Sharma, the attack came without warning. He told the Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office that Sharma was returning to his seat when he suddenly grabbed him by the throat. Before the assault, Evans even claimed that Sharma began laughing in a dark manner and made bizarre threats.
He was doing some dark laugh, like ha 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 ha. And he was saying things like, "You puny mortal man, if you challenge me, it will result in your death."
Now, Evans said he initially informed flight attendants about Sharma's behavior and was advised to use the assistance button if it continued. And when the threats persisted, he pressed the button and stood up to confront Sharma. And that's when the situation really escalated.
He kept threatening me with death. That's what made me get up and press the button above me. And I just turned around and I looked at him and I responded to him. A lot was going on. And immediately he just got up and he puts his forehead on my forehead like he was challenging me.
The brawl left Sharma with a cut above his left eyebrow and Evans with scratches on his face. Witnesses said Sharma appeared to smile and take selfies of his bloodied face after returning to his seat. Now, upon landing in Miami, sheriff's deputies boarded the aircraft and took Sharma into custody. He was first taken to Jackson West Hospital for treatment and then charged with 1 count of battery. Now, during his court appearance on Tuesday, Sharma's attorney claimed the incident began because Sharma was meditating and that Evans had taken issue with it.
My client is from a religion where he was meditating. Unfortunately, the passenger behind him did not like that.
The judge then set Sharma's bond at $500 and issued a stay-away order preventing any contact with Evans or his place of work or study.
This is another classic example of a black man defending himself after being provoked. But the way this story is being narrated by some media outlets, it is being framed as if that black man was the one inciting violence on that Indian man. But as you've seen, the man was provoked. And as you know, the way human beings are created, when we sense danger around us, the fight and flight responses in our body is activated so that we can defend ourselves. This is not about supporting violence or defending it. I am totally against violence. So that is why I need us to hear from that black man in the video so that he can explain to us what was happening on the ground before we start judging. Now, the video is for educational purpose. If you are enjoying it, click on that like button.
Don't judge a situation until you know all of the details. I saw a viral video of a Frontier flight where a gentleman named Keanu Evans was in a fight with some other gentlemen. And of course, you run to the comments and everybody's saying how terrible that is. And they're indicting and making comments against Keanu Evans. But then if you just go and look up the story, you find out that Keanu Evans is not the one to be blamed here. The other gentleman was the one who was charged. He was making life-threatening threats against Keanu Evans. He tried to call for the attendant. The attendant was not attendant. And so the other gentleman was forehead to forehead with him, took him by the throat. He ended up practicing self-defense. So before you just go running the comments or making videos of your own and trying to make somebody look bad in a particular light, you should probably get all the details first.
I would like to take the time to clarify a few things. I'm getting many comments like the one above of people saying that I provoked that man during the flight. First thing first, Good Morning America, ABC News, they have the narrative wrong. That's not the truth. They didn't take the time to ask any witnesses who were close by and actually witnessed the real thing, what happened. They interviewed the two girls who were at the front of the flight who videotaped what happened from a distance, whose video went viral. They interviewed them. They didn't even see what happened. All they saw was the aftermath. They seen and heard commotion going on in the back, and then they start recording their phone after we're fighting. And you guys want to go with that narrative. I've been getting a lot of hate speech. I've been getting a lot of negative comments, but I'm also getting an overwhelming amount of support. And for everybody who does support and is taking the time to go down the rabbit hole and find the truth, thank you. ABC, Good Morning America, I wish you guys would reach out and actually get the true story. There's plenty of witnesses who were around me in the vicinity, and they posted their own testimony to social media, and it aligns with the story that I told WSVN and what happened. I was the one who got out of my seat and went to the restroom. I was the one who told the flight attendants about the disturbed man who was sitting behind me, because I was in the front seat and he was in the back seat, and I informed them that this man is giving me threats and he's saying things to me. Before I even got up out of my seat, I had my headphones on. I'm listening to music. I'm looking outside of the window, admiring the sunset, and I hear somebody faintly laughing behind me. I can't hear it that loud because my headphones are on, but he was laughing that loud that I could hear him faintly in my headphones. I thought it was just a normal person watching a movie on their phone, some kind of funny movie, and I paid it no mind. But the two young women who were sitting next to me, they kept breaking their neck to look back to see what he was laughing at and what was wrong with the guy. And after they multiple times kept looking back, it made me a little worried, so I took my headphones off and I looked at them, and they looked at me with concern about the person behind me. I turn around and I ask the guy, "Are you good?" And he starts doing that villainous laugh again. Ha 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 ha. You're nothing but a weak man, a mortal man, a puny man. Like, he's saying things like that to me, nobody else, to me. I didn't even know this guy was behind me the entire flight. I just start laughing about it because I think it's funny. I'm like, what's wrong with this crazy guy? Why is he talking to me like that? I just get up. I'm like, I go to the restroom and the flight attendants are right there. So I say, "Hey guys, there's a disturbed, deranged man behind me. He's giving me things like death threats and stuff like that. I'm just letting you know that if he puts his hands on me, like, I'm gonna defend myself." I tell them that. They're like, "It's okay. We basically already know about what's going on." They let me know that they were aware of him. And they told me to go back to my seat and press the button if he continues. So I do just that. I walk back to my seat. As I'm sliding back through the aisle to get to 18F, which is where I was sitting, he's jawing off at me again. "Oh, you weak man. You go to the restroom and you're looking at yourself in the mirror because you're just a weak man. If you challenge me, it will lead to your death and your destruction." He's saying evil things like this to me. And as soon as he starts jawing off again, I just get up, I press the button, and I turn around and I question him. I said, "Yo, what's your problem? I'm not with any of that demonic stuff that you have going on." And he gets up immediately. He puts his forehead on my forehead, face to face, and he grabs me with both of his hands and he starts to choke me. You guys are saying things, "Oh, if you're a man of God, why didn't you use your words? Why didn't you rebuke him?" What would you do if you were in a confined space on an aircraft and another stranger you don't know stands up and starts to choke you? I defended myself. I did what any rational person would do. Okay? I genuinely concerned for this man, Ashan. Whatever demon, whatever situation he was going through, I pray that man gets the help that he needs, because that is not okay. When is it okay to put your hands on another human being on a flight for no reason, unprovoked? I did nothing to him. I was minding my business the entire time. I was prepared for all the racist comments and the hate speech and things like that, and honestly, it doesn't faze me. The only thing that upsets me is that these news outlets are reporting false narratives and everybody is starting to run with it and believe it. Take the time. Go to WSVN on Instagram. Go on YouTube. Go to WSVN and search the news and listen to the story. There's a young woman named Melissa who was on the flight, and she was helping break up the fight. She was right there when everything happened, and she tells the entire story on her Instagram. I will tag her Instagram in the comments. Go watch it for yourself. Don't believe everything the news puts out. They just put out silly narratives without having the real truth behind the entire story. Thank you to everybody who's supported me. Thank you to everybody who's reached out to me with encouragement. You guys have been nothing but uplifting through this entire experience. Everything in my life just changed overnight. All because of this one incident. I don't condone violence. I don't condone things like that. But I also don't believe it's okay for another man to attack another man unprovoked. I don't believe in that. And I believe you have every right to defend yourself. And that's exactly what I did. You know, a lot of people want to hear more about the story and they want to know what's going on, but I'm honestly getting tired of this. Every day I've waken up and it's been more and more and more commotion and more people reaching out to me, and it's just getting overwhelming. So this is the last thing I'm just going to post about this story. I'm going to leave it at that. If you guys want something more in depth, then I may post something on YouTube at some point, but just stay connected to me. Follow my page, like my page, subscribe to my page, subscribe to my YouTube, whatever the case may be if you're looking for more. But right now, I just need some time and some space. So, hey, God bless you guys and take care.
Keanu Evans did not provoke the man, Ishan Sharma, who attacked him. He was in his seat the entire time. He only got up to tell the flight attendant that what was happening, that this guy behind him, Ishan Sharma, the one you see in this picture, was making death threats and all sorts of disrespectful remarks. When he went to complain about him, Ishan Sharma got up in Keanu Evans' face and attacked him. So unfortunately, those were the facts at the time available to me, and that's what was the media reporting, and they just went off on those on the statement of those two girls. So I'm just making this video as part 2 to update on what was actually happening.
Bro 100% deserved to get tore the fuck up on that plane. I don't care what nobody say. That dude was not wrong for turning around and beating that ass. Like, what? Hey, what's up, y'all? So if y'all haven't seen the video of that dude getting beat up on the plane by Keanu Evans, just know it wasn't Keanu's fault. It wasn't Brett's fault. It wasn't Brett's fault. He was behind him popping it. He was behind him popping it. We're on a plane. We're about to go to our next destination. We all don't want to be on the no-fly list. I don't know what you want. I don't know what you want. I don't want to be. But you sitting here popping it. You threatening me, bruh? You threatening me, bruh? We're in the sky, and you're behind me. I don't know what you're going to do. Do, bap, mac. Yeah, Mac. And then when he got up, what was he? Bloody, leaking. Yeah, now you're on a no-fly list, leaking. But you ain't never getting back on this plane ever again, and you got beat up. You deserved it. You deserved it. Keanu not wrong. He not wrong. Anybody say he wrong? Please. And he better not be on the no-fly list. Swear to God.
I have seen this story covered by some mainstream medias, and I am deeply troubled by the coverage. Multiple outlets have sided with the Indian man, while accusing Keanu Evans of violence without examining the context, or understanding that he was actually defending himself. The selective reporting is exactly the kind of bias that perpetuates harmful narratives about Black Americans. Listen carefully to the tone of the Indian man's voices in the footage. It is unmistakably aggressive and confrontational. According to Keanu Evans' own account of what happened, that man was deliberately provoking him, challenging him, trying to escalate the situation. As a human being with dignity, Keanu has every right to defend himself against the provocation. I wasn't physically present during the incident, but based on what actually happened and how the situation unfolded, I believe Keanu Evans was completely justified in his actions. What frustrates me most is that the media could have taken enough time to understand the dynamics at play. They could have listened to the tone of Sharma, that Indian man, analyzed his behavior and how he was acting aggressive, and recognized the provocation. Instead, they chose the narrative that serves their predetermined conclusion. If I were in Keanu's position, I would absolutely sue both that man and the mainstream media outlets for defamation. Their reporting has completely reversed the narrative, making Keanu look like the aggressor, when he was actually the one being pushed to his breaking point. And you can hear it in his voice. Keanu has a calm voice, which makes it abundantly clear just how far he was pushed before he finally responded. America has a systemic bias toward black people, and frankly, it is getting worse, not better. In 2026, we are still grappling with the same racial inequalities that plagued America decades ago. Y'all, this should not be acceptable. America is supposed to be progressing, yet the evidence suggests that y'all are moving backward. I have noticed a deeply troubling pattern over time. Whenever two people get into conflict, any conflict, people take sides immediately without understanding what actually happened. They assume that the black person is at fault without doing any real research or investigation. The mainstream media is doing this deliberately. What makes this especially damaging is that many people consume this media without questioning it. They accept the narrative, they don't dig deeper, they don't seek out alternative perspectives. Instead, they absorb the bias and carry it forward, perpetuating the cycle. And this is why we see many cases in America where facts don't matter. Only the skin of people involved does. Until people stop judging who is right and who is wrong based on the skin color, y'all won't see real peace. I'm telling you this clearly. This has to change. And the real change requires people to examine their own biases, to question the narrative they are being fed, and to demand better from your institutions. So, brothers and sisters, that's all I had to say about this incident. I want y'all to contribute to this conversation by sharing your own ideas down there in the comment section. If you are watching this video and you found it helpful, please consider clicking on the like button. And I've seen that many of the viewers who watch my content have not yet subscribed. If you are one of them, please consider hitting on the subscribe button. It's the TA, your African brother, signing off. Ciao.